Come along with me as we hike the Arizona National Scenic Trail from the Gordon Hirabayashi trailhead to the iconic Hutch's Pool. Hutch's Pool is a popular hike for Tucsonans as we don't have a lot of destination water features. We'll begin our hike at the Gordon Hirabayashi trailhead, an easy drive up the Catalina Highway from Tucson. There is ample parking at the trailhead. When I was there, the campground was closed, so I had to park in the lot closest to the highway and walk in. The trailhead is not well signed. Just go to the far end past the horse corrals and follow the trail up the hill. In just a few steps, you'll be at the Arizona Trail. The first segment is fairly level through high desert. In about a mile, you'll come to the canyon's edge.
Just coming up over the rise here. And our next step, we head down towards the Sycamore Reservoir, down through this absolutely stunning canyon. Beautiful day, about 80 degrees, light breeze. Life is good.
The next segment is a gentle descent down to Bear Creek and Sycamore Reservoir.
We're coming down into Sycamore Canyon now, which, as you can see, is a lot more wooded because of the presence of water down in the reservoir down there. So the trees have something to drink, and very lush and green, especially this year. Just coming down into the canyon now, getting pretty close. Really green. There's some thistles in bloom, and I think that's Thimble Peak up there in between the canyon walls, which is a real landmark in Sabino Canyon, which is right down there. This is the kind of the viewing overlook area of the reservoir. The water trickles down from the right over here and right over the edge.
After the reservoir, the train stays level for a while before we descend to Sabino Creek.
This is a particularly beautiful part of the trail.
The red arrow points roughly to Hutch's Pool. Not far now.
Coming into an open canyon here above Sabino, and the views here, the expansive views, are just phenomenal. And then to have the nice wildflowers right on top of that is really special. So, up in the Santa Catalina Mountains near Tucson, Arizona. I'm just north of Bear Canyon, and this is something you see a lot of in Arizona, not a lot in other parts of the country, where you have a nice little stream here, a babbling brook, that all of a sudden disappears. In this case, into the sand. Quite often it'll reappear later on after it hits some kind of a stone wall, if you will, a rock wall, where the water has no choice but to bubble back up again behind kind of a natural dam, if you will. But this often means that you have to go a little bit maybe off trail to find the water. In this case, it's only a few feet away. In some cases, it could be quite a bit further. But common occurrence here, the disappearing stream, the babbling brook that turns to mud and then to sand.
Along Sabino Creek, there are several fine campsites with good water access. I opted to stay on a high spot just east of the Sabino Canyon Trail intersection. It was a beautiful campsite, but I did have to listen to the frogs croaking in the creek all night long. Our last section of trail parallels Sabino Creek and is fairly level.
About a quarter mile before the Hutch's Pool Trail Junction. And here I have to cross Sabino Creek. Really nice spot. Well, here we have like a little cave with a fire pit. Looks like it would be potentially a place to have a fire in a storm. And let's go down and see if we can find the actual pools here. Here we are at the pools. They're basically a wide spot in the river. You can see up canyon there. You could probably wade up that canyon a bit. And then right here, it gets not really deep enough to swim, but you could splash around in the water here and get wet. And if you were a hot, tired, and thirsty Arizona trail hiker, it would probably feel pretty dang good. Even just dangling your toes in the water here would probably feel pretty dang good. But here we are, Hutch's Pool. And this was that kind of area I said you could probably walk up. Really nice. Shallow. I would guess 3 to 4 feet deep in spots. I'm sure there's spots where it gets more shallow and deeper. But nice little cutaway down this little mini canyon here where the water flows. Really nice. I don't think I'm going to camp here. My guess is it's going to be buggy when the sun goes down. So I think I'm going to go. There's a couple nice campsites a little farther back. I think I'm going to go back.
Here's some things to keep your eyes out for along this trail. The first are some nice metates just east of Hutch's Pool. These are evidence that Native Americans use this area for food, perhaps to grind acorns from the oaks growing along the creek. I had a gopher snake encounter just after leaving the trailhead. These are friendly snakes, without venom. I also encountered a tarantula hawk, a wasp with the second most painful sting in the world. I had a similar wasp in my driveway a few years ago, and the inset shows her dragging the paralyzed spider off to a nest. Look for easy to recognize banded gneiss, a metamorphic rock that is prevalent in the Catalina Mountains. When I was there in early May, the MARIPOSA lilies were in full bloom. The hedgehog cactus were absolutely brilliant with their huge flowers that almost seemed to glow. The ocotillos were also profusely flowering. Keep your eyes and ears peeled for hummingbirds attracted to the red blooms. Thanks for watching, and I hope you can hike the Arizona Trail to Hutch's Pool sometime. If you enjoyed this video, please click like below, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment.